Local news, WBKO will be on shortly. This is the Roku.
In history, almost one of the only people running for state Supreme Court that has been very open and public. We had a one-on-one interview with her about her views on abortion. Now, she is pro-choice. That is her personal opinion. She says, though, with the caveat, Protasiewicz has kind of described that she's more of a common law view in that she sees the Constitution as a living document that should change and adjust as the world changes, and that the law should evolve in response to changing circumstances. Kelly, though, is very clear. He calls himself a...
From WBKO News, local, first, now. This is WBKO News at 10.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Gene Burke. We begin tonight with an update on the legislation on Kentucky's juvenile justice system. The state Senate passed two bills that would overhaul the department. One bill would require a third party to conduct a performance review of the state's juvenile justice system. The other would invest more than $55 million into comprehensive reforms within the system. Some of that funding would be used to reopen a youth detention center in Louisville that's been closed since 2019. Supporters of the bill say reopening the facility will keep juveniles closer to home.
It requires the Department of Juvenile Justice to return to the regional model of housing juveniles to ensure that kids from each region are housed close to home. And this is important for a lot of different reasons, for families, for legal purposes, and just for the mental health of the
Both bills now head to House committees for a vote. The search for a wanted felon out of Nashville ends in Indiana. Indiana State Police say a trooper spotted the felon's car heading east on Interstate 64 from Illinois just after 11 o'clock this morning. Troopers say they tried to stop the driver, identified as 33-year-old Brandon Freeman, but he kept going. Stop sticks were used to end the chase, the car finally stopping near the Boonville exit. Police say Freeman then ran into the woods. Troopers say SWAT and air support were called in to find him, which they did, just before 1 o'clock this afternoon. Freeman is wanted on a federal weapons charge out of Tennessee. A bill that would allow teachers and faculty members in Kentucky's public schools to share their religious beliefs freely is heading to the House for a full vote. The bill would allow for prayer and religious programs at school and school-sanctioned events. The push comes after a U.S. Supreme Court case where a high school football coach was fired for insisting on prayer for his players. The court ruled in his favor. Teachers who support the bill say it could allow expression of all religions in schools. The bill's sponsor says Kentucky needs to pass this bill even after the Supreme Court's ruling, so there can't be any challenges at the state level. Some candidates looking to become the Republican nominee in Kentucky's governor's race took the stage for their first statewide debate tonight. Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron, State Auditor Mike Harmon, Ag Commissioner Ryan Quarles, and Somerset Mayor Alan Keck all laid out their plans if they win the nomination. They also answered questions about the economy, health care, gun rights, and education. Candidate Kelly Craft did not attend the debate. It's all hands on deck at the First Alert Weather Center here with Shane Homley's departure. So former WBKO meteorologist Ethan Emery joins us again, live from our sister station in Cincinnati. Great to have you back, Ethan.
Great to be here, Gene, and tell you what, filling in, weather's been pretty cooperative for us here for forecasting and all that. And also, too, I noticed you're wearing your gold tie and your gold little pocket square to mimic my silver one. And also, I get to wear green tonight since I'm not behind a green screen.
it's all an honor of you, buddy.
Yeah, but we are looking at pretty nice weather for us again tonight here in South Central Kentucky. Here's a live look on our AAA Systems weather camera looking towards downtown Bowling Green. In the distance there, you can see the Pierce Ford Tower over on the campus of Western Kentucky University. Also closer up is Jennings Creeks Elementary, and right now things are cooling down. 47 degrees this hour over towards Russellville, over in Logan County. This hour in Munfordville, 45 degrees. A little bit chillier up there towards central Hart County. And Doppler Max is just showing us, well, just some cloud cover moving in, mid to high level clouds passing through. There are a little bit of sprinkles over towards extreme western Kentucky towards Paducah. I did look at a couple of rain gauges in that spot, and maybe 1/100 of an inch of moisture coming down. But the thing is, though, it's very, very light, not looking impactful for you here this hour. Right now, temperatures, they're into the mid-40s over at Bowling Green at the airport. East winds at 8 miles per hour. Dew points in the 30s. I want to show you that because we got that drier air moving in, and that's going to keep that moisture at a very minimal as that passes through. So, again, maybe a sprinkle late tonight, but nothing more than that. Lows down to the upper 30s and low 40s. And then for your Tuesday, we've got mostly cloudy skies and highs, and a little bit chillier, only to the 50s. But coming up, we are looking at much colder weather. We'll have more on that coming up in just a little bit. Gene?
Looking forward to it. Mammoth Cave National Park reopened today, having been closed for cleanup following last Friday's storm. WBKO's Sarah Phipps visited the park and is in studio now to tell us more. Hey, Sarah.
Hey, Gene. The park's public information officer, Molly Schroer, said crews have been working since Friday afternoon to clear over 300 fallen trees and branches from roadways.
They've been working hard every day over the weekend since the storm hit. Yesterday, they opened up our campground and cleared the loops there so we can invite guests back to camp at the park.
And like many others in Kentucky, the park was left without power or internet for most of the weekend.
We've been able to get power restored and internet back to our visitor center, so we've reopened that. Our administrative areas, though, we still don't have any power or internet.
Schroer said the park was lucky, with minimal damage being done to facilities.
You can see behind me, this is our woodland cottages. They're some of our lodging structures. We had 3 structures like this hit in the park. We had some damage to our employee housing and also our superintendent's office.
At this time, trails and campgrounds are open in the park, though Schroer advises visitors to remain cautious.
Be aware of your surroundings. Before you set up your tent, look up above you and see, is there a loose limb? Is there something hanging above me that looks like it could fall on my tent at some point? Or if you're hiking on a trail, just if there's a section that looks like a tree could fall or it looks questionable, don't proceed. Turn around and go back. It's not worth the risk of going in and getting hurt.
Despite the damage still left to clean up, Schroer says the park is ready to go.
We're pretty much back in action now. I think later this week they are working on getting our utilities back so we can, open our lodging again and all that service. So we're working with Kentucky Utilities, and I know they're very busy trying to get service back throughout the region, and we know we're on their list.
To keep up to date on current conditions at the park, visit nps.gov/MACA. Reporting in studio, Sarah Phipps, WBKO News.
Thank you, Sarah. Warren County government has announced information on debris removal from last Friday's storms. They say residents should place cut-up limbs at the curb to be picked up, and if you pay contractors to cut up your limbs, they are responsible for removing them from your property. Officials say limb and tree debris curbside pickup will begin on Monday, March 20th. This is for vegetation only. Public Works will continue clearing critical debris from roadways and rights-of-way. And don't forget, the city of Glasgow is offering free drop-off sites for residents needing to dispose of tree debris after Friday's windstorm. Only tree debris will be accepted. There are numerous locations in Glasgow where dumpsters are set up. One is at Gorin Park, another is at Beaver Trail, and an additional dumpster was placed at Weldon Park. No household or hazardous waste is allowed. Dumpsters will be available until 6 p.m. each day. For more information, you can visit cityofglasgow.org. As a result of Friday's storm, produce could be delayed. Reporter Marissa Sulik spoke with a farmer in Middle Tennessee who says they are now out thousands of dollars.
When gusts of wind blew through Daniel Folk's farm last week, he didn't expect to lose this.
My farmhand and I were just holding down a greenhouse that we got 2 weeks ago, so brand new. We were just trying to hold it down from damaging the greenhouse next to it.
Now he's cleaning up what's left, or this shriveled up plastic pile.
And these structures we use a lot for extending the season in certain vegetables.
Right before the spring growing season is supposed to start.
And we'll rebuild, but it just happens right at the time where we've got a lot of things going on.
Inside his Santa Fe farm called the Farm and Fiddle, Daniel has plans in the ground already, but this will set him back.
It's hard to say. 10 grand or something like that, maybe.
Now, it wasn't just the greenhouses that saw damage. Daniel says his wife was inside this shed when a tree fell on the roof.
The ceiling came down, hit her, and knocked her down on the ground, and she was able to crawl out.
The animals and other crops on Daniel's farm seem fine, and so will their production.
We'll get out at the same time. It just means we will have to work, 16-hour days instead of 12-hour days.
As for this destroyed greenhouse, Daniel says it's part of the job.
When you have the velocity that those ones had. You know, there's not much you can do. It's just, you know, it's going to tear stuff up.
We have another update on the power outages. BGMU is still reporting 9 outages at the moment. Warren RECC reports they're down to 2,900 outages and say they're entering the stage of restoration. We're replacing poles, removing trees from lines, and hanging lines will be restored a few at a time. In Glasgow, at 5 o'clock tonight, Farmers RECC reported their total number of outages had gone down to 1,211. Next on WBK News at 10, investigators shine a light on a deadly house fire in Bullitt County that took the lives of a pregnant woman and 2 children. Details when we come back.
This is WBKO News at 10.
Together, we've helped over 10 million pets find loving homes. Sometimes we rescue them, but most of the time, it's their love that rescues us. Help us help millions more during National Adoption Week at your local PetSmart.
Who rescued you?
Zaxby's Asian Sensation Salad comes with hand-breaded chicken, wonton strips, Asian slaw, and is dressed with honey sesame teriyaki glaze and citrus vinaigrette. But while we call them dressings, that's an understatement. No, these are sauces, salad sauces. So grab a fork, because the Zaxby's Asian Sensation Salad and egg roll are back and just as saucy as ever. Woo, saucy! Zaxby's.
We are learning more about the tragedy that took the lives of a pregnant woman and 2 young girls after a fire at a home in Lebanon Junction. The Bullitt County Sheriff's Office released the results of their investigation today. Reporter Kennedy Hayes has the update.
Arson investigators shining light on what happened inside this home on January 19th, the day tragedy spread through Lebanon Junction.
Now all you see is soot, and it's the fire, the smoke still coming out of it.
The fire smoke took the lives of 3 people. Erin Toogood, age 27, and her unborn child, Holton. Hazley Heath, age 6, and Reagan Merriman, also 6 years old.
I'm just still waiting for somebody to tell me it was a mistake and that it's not Reagan.
Bullitt County officials talked to the man who survived, William Merriman. In a report, Merriman says that morning he, quote, woke up and thought somebody was walking through the house, then realized the house was full of smoke and started yelling fire. Unable to reach those trapped inside, Merriman went out the front door to find a neighbor. Together, they were not able to re-enter the home due to the heat and smoke. Just after 3:30, firefighters arrived to find flames coming from 2 areas of the home. Investigators say the fire started in the utility room, then spread to the kitchen. Due to the extent of damage, what caused the fire is undetermined. Officials say the home did not have any working smoke detectors.
If we could just at least touch one family, one home, one business, you can prevent this from happening again.
In the victim's honor, the family tells us they're pushing a new fire ordinance for all of Bullitt County, requiring smoke detectors.
Anytime property is bought, so lease, rent it, there has to be working smoke detectors.
The ordinance, named the Erin, Hazley, Reagan, and Holton Act, aims to make sure a tragedy like this never happens again.
Today, that ordinance was presented to the Bullitt County Fiscal Court for the 2nd time. It also fines up to $100 if smoke detectors are not present. is expected to pass during its second reading on March 21st.
Well, from one of our viewers, Jennifer Franklin over in Grayson County, the beautiful sunset on Monday. This is sent to us from wbko.com/photos. You can share your photos with us with views like this. However, going into tomorrow, we're not looking at as much sunshine. In fact, looking at more cloud cover moving into south central Kentucky as we dive on into our Wednesday. But looking back at today, our almanac, we had a high up to 63 degrees, just above normal for this time of the year. But coming up, cooler weather on the way. We'll have more next.
This stock market report is brought to you by the retirement planning specialists at Tony Walker Financial.
New sizzling shrimp for a limited time only at Panda Express. Zaxby's Asian Sensation Salad comes with hand-breaded chicken, wonton strips, Asian slaw, honey teriyaki glaze with a cherry on top. Or in this case, an egg roll on the side. The Asian Sensation Salad. Woo! Saucy! Zaxby's. Zaxby's Asian Sensation Salad comes with hand-breaded chicken, wonton strips, Asian slaw, and is dressed with honey sesame teriyaki glaze and citrus vinaigrette. But while we call them dressings, that's an understatement. No, these are sauces, salad sauces. So grab a fork, because the Zaxby's Asian Sensation Salad and egg roll are back and just as saucy as ever. Woo, saucy! Zaxby's.
At the Salvation Army, a shelter isn't just a place to rest. It's a chance to shed layers, let loose, and finally let it go. With your gift, a warm bed is just the beginning. It's the first night of a new day. When our homeless neighbors feel safe enough to close their eyes, they can see the way forward.
It's time to bring balance to business travel. At National, you're in control, so you can mix work with leisure, or leisure with work, giving you the control to find the perfect balance. Go National. Go like a pro.
First Alert Weather, sponsored by Med Center Health.
And we're back with Ethan, and I just want to let you know, caught Facebook overnight and today, and there were quite a few hits about you on that from being on the show. So welcome back.
Yeah, it was quite a warm welcome. Of course, Southern hospitality, you can't beat that. But yeah, it was nice to see all the nice reactions. Actually, looking at my phone, looking at some of the comments and
You know,
stuff.
he's in Cincinnati doing that?
Yeah, it's really nice to be on the airwaves again in Bowling Green and across South Central Kentucky, Gene.
You leaving?
Yeah, and if we can't have...
And we are looking... No, go ahead.
See, look at my life. Things are working on my phone.
Oh, I was just going to say, but as we look forward to the weather now, we are looking at some cooler conditions moving to the South Central Kentucky as we head on into the latter half of the week, especially going into the weekend. But take a look at this. As we head into the weekend, we are springing ahead, and we're springing 1 hour forward. We're going to lose an hour of sleep, and so by Sunday morning, sunrise will be at just after 7 o'clock in the morning, and for sunset on Sunday, 6:50. But as you're waking up tomorrow morning, here's our quick look at that forecast. Waking up with meteorologist Raquel Dominguez on AM Kentucky at 5 a.m. Temperatures will be right around the upper 30s with mostly cloudy skies as you're heading out the door to work or school, 40 degrees. This hour, though, still into the mid-40s at Franklin this hour down in Simpson County. We're looking at those mid to high-level clouds. Same goes for Elkston over in Todd County, 47 degrees for you folks this hour. And across the Mesonet sites in South Central Kentucky, you see those Lower 40s over towards Hodgenville, Campbellsville, also towards, say, Albany. The upper 40s for Madisonville, Hopkinsville, and over towards Greenville. Those dew points, it's not a first alert weather day, but we are looking at those dew points in the 30s, and I'll show you that because that air is drier. The further apart that dew point is from the air temperature, you tend to have that drier air, and it's thanks to those easterly winds at around 5 to 15 miles per hour, with gusts approaching about 15 to, say, 20 miles per hour. So the atmosphere is quite dry, especially closer to the surface, and we do have some moisture coming in from the west, and at most tonight into your Wednesday morning, maybe a few sprinkles, but nothing more than that. As I mentioned, we do have that cooler northeasterly wind, and that's going to keep us with that drier air as well as some cooler conditions as we head on into the middle of the work week. So here's a look at future max. We are looking at more of those clouds heading into late tonight into your Wednesday morning. Wednesday afternoon, we got those highs into the upper 40s and low 50s. And then heading into your Thursday, we're starting off dry. In fact, much of the day looks to be dry for your Thursday, but going into Thursday evening, it looks like after that evening drive, we are looking at some chances for some rain beginning to develop. Most of the rain happens Thursday night into your early Friday morning, and then Friday will be a breezy day here in the South Central Kentucky region, and we are looking at those gusts getting as high as around 30, 35 miles per hour. And then as we head into our Saturday night into your Sunday, we're also looking at more chances for precipitation to move into the Wbko viewing area. It looks like rain at this point. Models are trying to paint the picture of perhaps a few snowflakes. The thing is, though, with how warm the ground will be and how warm the atmosphere will be, it appears that it's just going to be in the form of rain and really no impacts from that, other than the fact that we might have some ponding on roadways, things of that nature. And when it comes to the rainfall amounts, particularly going into your Thursday night into your Friday morning, as well as for your Saturday night into your Sunday, maybe about a half an inch to an inch of moisture here across the Wbko viewing area. So your rough River Lake forecast highs for your Wednesday, lower 50s, 54 in Hardinsburg, 54 in Litchfield, 53 in E-Town. Tomorrow's high here in Bowling Green, 54 degrees, and we are looking at mostly cloudy skies. And as we head on into that 7-day forecast, you can see breezy conditions, again, for your Thursday as well as for your Friday. And going into the weekend, dry for your Saturday, rain Sunday, and look at that low for Monday night and Tuesday, near freezing. So just do keep that in mind. And Tuesday, we are looking at partly cloudy skies and a chilly high of 49 degrees.
Thank you, Ethan. The mission of the Boys and Girls Club is to inspire children to reach their full potential. At the Glasgow Barron County Boys and Girls Club, one woman takes that mission to heart and gives it her all. William Battle introduces us to this week's Hughes and Coleman Hometown Hero.
They're just my kids, you know. I have my own biological kids that come here, but I have over 100-something kids that has my heart.
Kenesha Franklin is the safety director for the Boys and Girls Club of Glasgow Barron County. Since 2019, when she started as a team coordinator with the organization, she's been doing what it takes for the children in her care.
She's a rock. She's very dependable. She's kind. She's caring. She's devoted to the mission, to the staff, and to the children.
She always keeps us on our toes. She's always got, a story about, something she did when she was younger or something funny that happened, like with her kids over the weekend. She's always positive.
Kenesha happily takes on different roles when it comes to interacting with the children.
I'm a therapist some days. I'm a relationship person. I'm somebody's best friend, a mama. I want to know how their day went at school. Do they have any issues? I want to know about your grades.
The children can always count on Kenesha to be there for them, no matter when or where.
I'm that person that the kids can be like, hey, Miss Kenesha, can you come to my ball game? I'm the one that's on the bleachers yelling at the kids to pass the ball or something. I'll support them no matter what.
It is her ability to empathize and relate to the children that drives her to go above and beyond for them.
I see myself in some of the kids, and some of the things they go through, I've been through, if that makes sense.
She is grateful for the support she receives from the team at the Boys and Girls Club.
Well, I couldn't get this and be the person I am without support, I have great staff. I have a wonderful CEO and a unit director.
And at the end of the day,
I'm not going to be able to save them all, but I'm going to try to save them all if I can.
For being a positive role model and influence on the lives of children in Glasgow and Barron County with endless love and support, we recognize Kenesha Franklin as this week's Hughes and Coleman Hometown Hero.
And if you have someone you'd like to nominate as a hometown hero, go to our website, wbko.com, click the Hometown Hero tab, and fill out the submission form.
Eating healthier is an all-year thing. Not just a New Year thing. Kachava makes it easy and delicious. Packed with over 85 superfoods, nutrients, and plant-based ingredients for head-to-toe health. Try Kachava today.
Zaxby's Asian Sensation Salad comes with hand-breaded chicken, wonton strips, Asian slaw, and is dressed with honey sesame teriyaki glaze and citrus vinaigrette. But while we call them dressings, that's an understatement. No, these are sauces, salad sauces. So grab a fork, because the Zaxby's Asian Sensation Salad and Egg Roll are back and just as saucy as ever. Woo, saucy! Zaxby's.
Everybody has a why for going back to college.
I knew when I was a senior in high school that I wanted to be a teacher.
When I was a little girl, I always wanted to be a nurse because I always wanted to help people.
I had a why. I knew I wanted to get that college degree.
I've always had that internal drive to want to learn and grow and do more.
When you know what your why is and you find a great partner, absolutely anything is possible.
You know why. IWU is found.
Everybody has a why for going back to college.
I knew when I was a senior in high school that I wanted to be a teacher.
When I was a little girl, I always wanted to be a nurse because I always wanted to help people.
I had a why. I knew I wanted to get that college degree.
I've always had that internal drive to want to learn and grow and do more.
When you know what your why is and you find a great partner, absolutely anything is possible.
You know why. IWU is found.
It's the region rematch we've all been waiting for, the fourth and final meeting of the season between the Warren Central Dragons and the Bowling Green Purples. And in classic rivalry fashion, this one ended in a thriller. The Dragons looking to keep their hot streak alive, owning a 3-0 advantage in the rivalry this season, trying to make back-to-back trips to Rupp Arena. While for the Purples, they are hungry for that first win over Warren Central and looking for their first region title since 2021. Now, some back and forth with no success to start the game. Isaiah Villafuerte tries the 3-0 good, but Chappelle Whitney crashes the board for the putback. On the other end, Deuce Bailey drives baseline from the wing and pulls up to score one in for two. Whitney with the dart pass to Amari Glover, who lays it in. Dragons lead by 5 after 1. Second quarter, Bailey fakes the handoff to Lightning, drives and gets the floater to go. Then again on the other end, Cade Unseld maneuvers his way around and drops it in for 2. Dragons with an 8-point lead. MJ Wardlow works around walk-up, pump fake, and drops in off the glass for the and 1, but the Purples trail by 8 heading into the locker room. The Dragons come out with the hot hand. Unseld finds Whitney downtown for the easy lay-in as Warren Central takes a 14-point lead. It wouldn't last too long, though. Wardlow knocks down a triple, and we're back to an 8-point game heading into the final quarter. Wardlow up top, lobbed to Ritter in the paint. He bullies his way to the rim and draws the foul. And by the Bowling Green reaction, I'm sure you can tell Ritter made that foul shot as we had a tie ball game. With a minute left to play, the Dragons want the ball in their hands, so they let the clock wind all the way down to 5 before Walkup tries the fadeaway jumper. Too strong. Whitney's there on the putback, but it rolls off the front of the rim, and we're going to overtime. Both teams exchange buckets with less than a minute and a half to go. The Dragons with the same strategy with under a minute on the clock. Glover finds Unseld wide open. Timeout Bowling Green as Warren Central takes a 2-point lead. 5 seconds on the clock. Bailey inbounds to Wardlow. He drives, kicks it out to Luke Idlet for the win. It looks good, but it is just short as Warren Central wins the 4th region title 52-50 in overtime, heading to Rupp Arena for the 5th time in 6 years. Head coach Bill Unseld said he knew it was going to be a battle as it's hard to beat a team like the Purples 4 times in one season.
Just how resilient our kids were. You know, we knew it was going to be a tough game trying to beat them 4 times. I told most people before the district championship game, I'd be okay if we lost them. You know, it's gonna be tough to beat them 4 times. And we knew it was gonna be a tough game, but you know, my kids came through and made plays when they needed to.
And it was literally win or go home for U of L as they opened play in the ACC tournament. Unfortunately, the game came to an irritatingly similar end for Cards fans. Boston College was playing without their best player, Quentin Post. Brandon Huntley Hatfield got off to a hot start, scoring U of L's first 6 points. Then just before half, El Ellis misses the layup, but Huntley Hatfield is there for the putback. Cards led 34-31 at the break. That didn't last long, though. They were down by 4 when Kamari Lands cut it to 1 with the 3. Then the bottom fell out. U of L was outscored 31-14 from that point on. Boston College wins 80-62. U of L finishes year 1 under Kenny Payne 4-27. And things got a little contentious in the post-game presser when Coach was asked about his future.
I think that's a good question, my friend. I don't know how to answer that. Of course, I have not had one conversation with Josh Hurd about my future. I don't know if there's a reason to have a conversation with Josh Hurd about my future.
And that's your look at sports. Gene has more news on the way when we come back.
Everybody has a why for going back to college.
I knew when I was a senior in high school that I wanted to be a teacher.
When I was a little girl, I always wanted to be a nurse because I always wanted to help people.
I had a why. I knew I wanted to get that college degree.
I've always had that internal drive to want to learn and grow and do more.
When you know what your why is and you find a great partner, absolutely anything is possible.
You know why. IWU is found.
Everybody has a why for going back to college.
I knew when I was a senior in high school that I wanted to be a teacher.
When I was a little girl, I always wanted to be a nurse because I always wanted to help people.
I had a why. I knew I wanted to get that college degree.
I've always had that internal drive to want to learn and grow and do more.
When you know what your why is and you find a great partner, absolutely anything is possible.
You know why. IWU is found.
As the best-selling truck brand for 46 years, Ford F-Series has built quite a following. That's because they're built stronger, smarter, and tougher. Yeah, Ford trucks are definitely built right. And equally impressive, they're built right here. It's Ford Truck Month. Hurry in to get a new F-150 with 0 APR for 36 months, plus $2,000 customer cash. Visit your local Ford store today, where there's always more in store.
The new contest hopes to inspire Kentucky manufacturers to showcase their new inventions. The Kentucky Association of Manufacturers is hosting its first annual Coolest Thing Made in Kentucky tournament. Any product made in the state using a manufacturing process can be nominated. When the field is set, Kentuckians will pick and advance products through a bracket-style tournament. The Kentucky Cabinet for Economic Development says they hope the contest will encourage innovation throughout the state.
And I predict in 10 years, 5 years, no, I'll make it even 2 years. Having done this, we'll have the same impact like we have with March Madness. And more importantly, it's going to have the kind of impact when we start to talk about the stories of the individuals and or the products that make this state so great and that make these products so cool.
Nominations will be accepted through March 19th. Voting to narrow the field to the top 16 products will begin on March 21st. You can nominate or vote for a product at coolestthingky.com.
Music is everywhere in Tennessee. The instruments, however, may vary. Your vacation is now playing in Tennessee. On any given day in Tennessee, you can see live music until 3 a.m. And just like that, you're a morning person. Your vacation is now playing in Tennessee.
That's going to do it for WBKO News at 10. Thank you for joining us. Jimmy Kimmel is next. Tell us about your hometown news. Just go to WBKO.com and click Submit a Story on our homepage. Thanks to Ethan for helping us out, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
I always, I think that people shouldn't have to feel like I can go out and join the hardest boot camp out there.
Gotta get into CrossFit.
Gotta get into CrossFit, join Ironman, you have to kind of find your niche,
You do.
For me, I love to walk, I'm not like, hardcore exercise, but my walk every morning does help me get some mental clarity.
For sure, all forms of exercise are beneficial. Walking, doing CrossFit, that's great.
Hey, if that's your thing.
If that's your thing, being in the Ironman competition, go for it. If that's your level of exercise, then that's where you should be. But any level of exercise is beneficial. So walking is good, riding a bike is good. So just about anything we can do, even just taking a stroll.
Anyway,
is good
guys, I'm gonna go off
exercise.
stream.
And especially if we can do it outside, that's also beneficial too.
I think about, the benefits, as you said, of just going outside. Some people do not have that luxury. Either there's no space for them to go outside, they live in a place where there's not a whole lot of, say,